I'm confident you know the score now when it comes to these videos. It's straight raw facts. Everything that I've gone through, I try to convey it to yourselves to help you become a better person and to prevent you making the same mistakes that I made at your age. So I want to talk about something which that I think is quite powerful. I believe in the butterfly effect. So the fact that every action has an equal and opposite reaction. So essentially what we do today can dictate the next 5 years of our life, okay? The minute you turn 20 to the minute you finish 29 are the most important years of your life, because in those years, essentially what happens is you have time to build who you are. You have time to take trials, tribulations, you have times to take all the risks that you need necessary, but you also have time to build the most fundamental habits that are going to change you and are going to change your life within your 30s onwards, okay? So in this video, what I'm going to do is go over 5 different ways you can fail in your 20s and things you need to take hold of to help you succeed for the rest of your life. So these are very different from the normal ones that people talk about, like going to the gym and looking after your health, all those generic ones. These are a bit of a twist and ones that I don't believe many people cover. Now, I've spoken to a lot of people that haven't taken the time to properly build themselves in their 20s. And essentially what they end up doing is playing a game of catch up from their 30s onwards. And they're going to be competing with all the guys who are in their 20s now and putting the work in and properly grinding. So to save yourself the trouble of doing backtracking and having to waste your 30s, take advantage of your 20s, put the work in, build the right habits, eliminate the wrong habits, and enjoy your 30s, 40s, and 50s. These years you have now, from when you're 20 to 29, are extremely, extremely important. I have to convey this to you, okay? Let's jump straight in. So what I'm gonna go over today is 5 different ways which are completely different from the conventional ones everyone talks about, like five habits to ruin your 20s, all this bullshit. No, these habits here, these things are completely, I'd say, on the other end of the spectrum. What a lot of people don't look at, especially when it comes to like the manosphere that a lot of people are in, they always go for the generic ones, like go to the gym, look after your health, all these different things. But there's also an underlying layer of habits and things you need to get properly to grasp with, because they have such a big knock-on effect over the next few years for yourself. So jumping into the first one is choosing the wrong partner. So essentially what occurs in this day and age is there's a lot of casual dating, and a lot of casual dating leads to an accidental child, which is not ideal. Now, if you're going through the dating market and you're intentionally looking for a casual fling, then if that other person is also looking for a casual fling, do you think you'd be a very good partnership to have a baby? Absolutely not, okay? You can't be allowing yourself to have a bad partner, someone who argues or causes arguments, is toxic behavior or low vibrational behavior. Because essentially what that does, it causes more ball ache and it creates that butterfly effect I was talking about, how the action has an equal and opposite reaction. So if you get in a relationship with someone who is a bad person, let's say, you hadn't even realized it, and you have a kid with them, for example, you're going to cause so much stress, so much turmoil in the future, having to split your finances because they've gone to court or whatever they've had to do, having to ruin the child's life because of these problems that have occurred. Only if you took control, had your standards correct and said, you know what, this partner isn't for me, let me not do this or let me not do that. So it's very important, that's the first one there, is choosing the right partner. I've spoken to a lot of people who are in relationships now and at my age, and also in relationships that are older than me, and they have to stress this to me all the time. Beware of the women you choose to be around and beware of the ones you have kids with. So they're a very important one, okay? Coming on to the next one is the other end of the spectrum of getting a partner is not dating in the market. So a lot of people, what they essentially do is they decide not to date. And it's not because they hate women, it's because they think, okay, let me just focus on my work. Let me focus and try and prove myself and just completely eliminate myself from the dating market. Now, for a couple months, that's okay. That's not a problem at all. But a lot of people have got into the mindset of completely removing themselves from that dating market. Now, if you've gone through your whole 20s and not dated, okay, and then you get into your 30s and you start messing around with these women, essentially what's going to occur is if you're sorted or sort of like, let's say you're in a good standpoint where you've got your money sorted, you look sorted, all this and that, and you come across a woman who's had experience in dating and you haven't, she's going to absolutely finesse you. She's going to take everything you've got, she's going to make you fall in love with that pussy, and she's going to take all of your money. So it's very important that you don't neglect the dating side of things as well. Date here and there, or go through different times of your grind of dating and not dating. But I wouldn't say completely eliminate it, because not only are they going to finesse you, but you got to realize as well that companionship, which us humans crave because we're social beings, is very important. So don't neglect that. You know, some of the happiest people I know are in relationships. So something you should be keeping into mind. Moving on to the third one, which I was pushing this for quite a while. Let me sip that liquid. So I've just been eating the gingerbread. I've got another one here. Banging. So yeah, coming on to the third one is the lone wolf. So I am an advocate for this, okay? Being a lone wolf, but only for a certain amount of period, okay? And that period is the transformation, or so I said, the phase shift from leaving the old reality, the old person, and phasing into the new person. So this whole period, or this whole timeline, whether it's a month, 2 months, or a year, of being on your own, hard grafting, creating the correct habits, becoming the person you need to become. That's the only time I would say it is good to become a lone wolf. And when you exceed that and you're at the end point here, you need to be beginning to properly create your circle. Because if you get into your 30s, 40s and 50s and you've been a lone wolf throughout your 20s, you're going to have absolutely no friends. And it's going to take a long time for you to be able to step out your comfort zone and become someone who's able to make more friends. Because the older you get, the harder it is to make friends. It's a classic saying. Everyone says it to me as well, and I've taken it into the skull. I've absorbed it. So the older you get, the harder it is to make friends. It only takes 2 seconds to send someone a text message. I mean, as you get older, people have got kids and stuff like that, so they're very occupied. But sending a text message can keep that friendship alive, okay? So it's very important. It's okay to be a lone wolf for a certain amount of period. But other than that, you need to be stepping out your comfort zone and creating the circle and your network, okay? Coming on to number 4. It's very important, this one. So it's creating, not consuming. Now, this ties into a little bit about how you carry and how you utilize your free time, because how you utilize your free time will dictate whether or not you become a consumer or a creator. So, as you get older, as you transition into your 30s, 40s, and 50s, you need to be a person who's actually creating and adding benefit to the world. It has to be done. If not, you're going to be a bum and you're going to be living off people. Simple as that. I don't want to get too much into it. It's just simple, honestly. Last one is money. Money. Well, you all like money. You like money. I absolutely love money, and I love spending it as well. So this one is very important. You need to create and understand your current relationship with money, but also how you want money to be used and utilized in your own life. So a lot of people have this underlying self-conscious belief without even knowing that they hate money, and they end up spending it, spunking it to a point where they become absolutely broke, and they go through a vicious cycle of getting money, spending it, and being broke. 1 to 2 to 3, in that exact order, okay? You need to really ask yourself, okay, what type of relationship do I want with money? Do I want to be one of those people that get a source of income, properly become financially literate, and then start investing my money correctly? So in my 30s, 40s, and 50s, I have a money pot which has been growing, okay? And in the fact that money works for me. Or do you want to be one of those individuals that gets money and spunks it straight off the bat, okay? Now, I know exactly what type of person I want to be. So I'd pick the first one if I was you. And I know you would pick the first one as well. But if you're one of those guys that just gets their money and spunks it left, right, and center, you really need to adopt the first one, the first mindset shift. Because essentially you're going to be chasing your tail with no money, no nothing, coming to your 30s with fuck all in your name. I've done it, especially in my early 20s, I spunked so much of my money. It's not until now that I'm beginning to learn other ways to make money, but also to be cautious and save money correctly, okay? So, You know the score. Like, comment, subscribe. Anything that's going on in your life or you want to talk about, put in a comment section. We can have a talk. We can make videos on it. Take care, guys.